Hey everyone, welcome back. We're here another day of working on the Tiran 5 by Tamiya. This guy here, pull the track out of the box. This guy here, this is part 4. Last time I said it was part 2 when it was really part 3 because I don't math. So yeah, anyway. So, last time I started off the stream and I said, this is track day, and then I wound up doing a bunch of stuff on the body. Because I did the track wash on these guys, and then it took forever for the wash to dry. So, instead, I added a bunch of things on here, and there, and added these grills, and yeah, as you can see now, I was hanging off of there is the cable that I assembled. I made out of string. Move my M&Ms out of the way. String that came with the kit. So just cut and glue into these pieces here, like that. Boop-a-doo. This is actually going to hook onto a hook that's on the back of here. And so obviously I can't put it on yet because, well, I don't have this on yet. So today we are working on adding color to the tracks. This is something I have never done before, and so this is brand new to me. I've watched a couple of YouTube videos on using pigments. So what I want to do, I want to start with a darker pigment first, because these pigments, they are just, it's powder, and so you just dip your brush in the powder and you kind of brush it on a little bit where you want, la 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 la, and all that, and then you use this stuff. Now I have two types. This one is by Vallejo, Pigment Binder, and it's kind of looks like a milky liquid that you put on there, but oh, pardon me. I have this, I saw this Pigment Fixer by AK Interactive, and of course all my pigments are by AK. I've got two more here, boop-a-doo. And I only have one pigment by Vallejo, New Rust. So the pigment, AK Interactive calls theirs Pigment Fixer. I guess because it fixes the pigment to the product, whatever you're putting it on. And it is clear, total clear. And what I have seen in videos is basically the guys, they dip their brush into the pigment fixer and they just kind of let it drop, like just drop over it and let it do its, you know, absorbs into the powder, and that fixes it. This stuff, I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's see if there are instructions in here. It's water-based. It dries slowly. It allows more time to manipulate the pigment. It's got a flat finish. You're supposed to shake it well. And that's it. And that's it. That's the Vallejo one. I almost feel like you're supposed to mix it with the pigment and put it on. This one, this is for an enamel fluid. Oh no, this is an enamel fluid designed for obtaining a strong adhesion to all kinds of pigments onto any surface. So they apply the pigment onto the surface of your tank. Then add the fixer using a soft rounded brush. Tap and move the damp pigments to your liking with the brush until the fixer is dry. You can add more layers of pigments with or without the fixer if necessary. So I think for these I'm not going to use the Vallejo one, so it's going to go over here. I want to start with a darker color, so I think I'm going to start with this one's called Track Rust. Nice dark color. I'll start with that one, and I'll work my way up to this. They call it, see, it's like a tan color, which is gonna, I think, I haven't opened it yet, so we'll find out. It should, I'm hoping it will match quite nicely. Yeah, see, it's a very light tan color. It should match fairly closely with the color of the tank. The whole purpose, of course, is it's supposed to look like dirt. That's my intention with this. So I'm going to start with adding dark rust, then maybe use a little medium rust or track rust. Which one's darker here? They look about the same. Let's see. Dark rust is like a very dark brown. Track rust, well, I'd say the dark rust has a little hint of more red in it than the track rust. So we'll do the track rust. Track rust, then some medium rust, and then some ochre rust. And that's what we're going to do. And I don't think we'll use the Vallejo pigment. This almost looks like it's got a bit of a pinkish hue to it. This is called new rust. So yeah, that makes sense. This would be good if I'm actually trying to make rusty parts. So for this purpose, I'll be using these guys. So I don't want to do it right here on my table. So I'm going to put the tracks in the box, like so. Make some room. I'm going to check something out here. I noticed something on my last video. When I showed you a picture of the tank, my audio went, well, it didn't actually go, but it, I had no audio for the entire time that I had the picture up on the screen. And I don't know how long I've had that issue. I'd actually have to go back and look at my other videos on YouTube to see if that's been happening every single time, because I haven't had any comments about stuff like that happening. So I don't know, I don't have a lot of people actually commenting on my videos online, so just like I don't have a lot of people actually chatting on my, in my little chat here. But that's okay. If you don't want to talk, you don't have to talk. Perfectly alright. See, Mega Boy, you're back again, as usual. Yeah. I haven't seen you, Ala, in the last couple of times. But welcome, Academy Impossible. Welcome to the stream. Anyway, so let's start getting to work on this. So I'll grab my brush. It's a bit thicker brush. I use this one for when I want to paint big areas, so I don't really use it very often. So let's grab the track rust, and we'll see how this works. Yeah, nice powder. Okay. Looks good, I guess. Kind of brushes on like a powder. It's going in the crevices nicely. Maybe put a little too much on there, I don't know. We'll see what this looks like once I get that pigment binder on there. So I don't know how well this actually sticks without the binder. Let's see. Could I just, in theory, get rid of it? It seems to stick pretty good on its own, although it's, of course, very powdery. So I just need a little bit more on the end here. There we go. So I feel like I may have put a little too much on here, but it's kind of hard to tell. Like, you can see it just spreads out like really easily. Being the first time doing this, I'm not sure how much to put on or how little to put on. So I got this one really covered. I don't know, blowing on it gets rid of it? No, not really. So for people who might be watching this on YouTube, if you've got pointers or tips on using this stuff, because as you can see, I've got a lot on this one here. This one's very, very wet covered. Okay, so let's try adding a layer of the lighter stuff. I'm going to go straight to the more yellowy one. Seems to, well, it kind of blends pretty good, I guess. Work pretty good. It comes out of the container a little bit crumbly, but it very easily uncrumbles, I guess, for lack of a better term. So it blends well, I suppose. I like the fact that it kind of blends in without being too, what do you say, dramatic about it, I guess. Well, there are some spots I'd like to have a little more of the yellow. I think this one's turning out pretty good. It's coming along. That does look a lot better. If you pull that back there, you can see the major difference between the two tracks, right? Just by adding this much lighter color. That looks pretty good. I'm happy with that one. So I just need to kind of do the same with this one. And then, I'll get the Pigment Binder. Bind them together. I'm not sure if I'm doing this right or not. I don't know if there is an actual correct way to do this, but what I am doing seems to be working okay. There we go. So they're done. Now, I'm just gonna get rid of any excess that might be on here. Close this up. We'll try the Pigment Binder. That's done. Track rust. Didn't even use the medium rust. I think that looks pretty good. Binder. Fixer. Not binder. Fixer. Go ahead and smell it, you know. Yeah, it smells kind of like just, it almost just smells like lacquer thinner. So use a soft brush, which I'm doing, and I think I just want to dab it on in spots, almost like a wash, or like, what you call it? What do you call that stuff? Panel line accent color. I'm just kind of dabbing it, and it's running into the cracks nicely. But where in spots that it's not actually going on the top, I'm just dabbing a little bit more. So it's kind of blended in this yellow right into the red, and kind of eliminated that bright yellow color and turned it into an almost orange. So from what I've seen on YouTube videos, once this stuff dries, it actually does look a little different than the way it does when it's wet. So we are going to trust that it will come out looking like it did when it was dry. Okay, next track. I could see, so when I went to the first hobby store that I went to buy these pigments, they had a couple of pigments that they're like just sold out of, and it's like, okay, well, those are obviously the popular colors, no big deal, but they were out of this Pigment Fixer. And which is why I bought that Vallejo one. But I can see now, from what I'm having to do to get this to spread all over everything, I can see why it's sold out. Guys probably buying 2 or 3 of these at the same time. I don't know what I need to do to clean my brush off with this stuff. This is enamel. So do I use thinner? What kind of thinner do I use? I'll try their odorless thinner that I have here. It is almost odorless. I don't know if this is an enamel thinner or not. I guess I'll find out soon enough, see. If my brush goes super firm on me, then obviously it's not the right thinner for it. Okay, so these are now soaking wet, and they look really rusty. And, well, actually it looks like it's got a bunch of mud on them. That's really what it looks like. But they are wet, and I can't really do anything with them now that they're super wet like that. So, just moving them out of their wet spots. So we'll leave them for now. I don't think there's much else I can do. I could work on the turret, I guess, because I've got all these parts done. This is done. Building this is done. Putting the panels on is done. These two. Building that box and the, what do they call the hatch? Which hatch is that? Driver's hatch. See, then they want me to assemble the tracks and put them on. And put the thing together, and I can't right now. So I went ahead and I put some stuff on the front there, and I added tanks and the storage boxes, the oil pump case. I added the grills. I made this thing. This is going to go on the back. Put those on with the bar, a couple of things like that. See, now they want me to attach this on there. I put these tanks on. I made my cables. I can't hook the cable onto the back because I don't have it connected yet. So I guess really the next step is the turret. I just want to check something here because I got a message for some reason. Okay. So I guess I'll start working on the turret. I have this. We need what have we got here? Yeah, we need to make sure that's cleaned up nice, which I think it is. Yeah, we're doing okay. H23. D. J. H. Dip. H23 times 2. That's you guys, right? Yep. Do. We want H24 and 25. And 25. 24, 25. 24, 25. 24 and 25. 24 and 25. And those go on L15, which is the other part that goes on here, which is somewhere. There it is. This guy. Okay. These guys become little things that go inside there. these guys become little things. At first they start off as guys, and they become little things. Doesn't that sound like a lovely life? Start off as a guy and become a thing. And not just a thing, but a little thing. There we go. Our little guys have become little things. I was thinking of changing my cameras a little around a little bit, so that I could change my view, so that when I try and show you guys something like this, and I try and zoom in on it for you, I was thinking of maybe having a different view that would set up with this camera, so that, but instead of just having it as a little window here, like here, right, it could be full screen. So I could be like, hey, this is what it looks like now, and I could go like this, and I could just change the view, and go bing, there you go, and you can see it. So I think I might set that up, because I have my other view, for like, here's a picture of the box art for the F-15 I'm doing next, and I can do this, and I can show you that, right? So I can do that, but I think I need to do a view so I can go like scene number 3, and boom, and it's this camera here, but it's in full screen like this for you guys to see. I think I'm gonna set that up. I'll set that up for my next stream, and so that I can do that for you guys. I think that'll be well, I think that'll be better. Just an extra thing that I can do for you guys to help you see a little bit better. Okay, I need this one, H27. Well, no matter, I might as well get the barrel off there. I know that's going to come next. Along with H45. There's probably that there. Okay. So, now I need large poly caps. I need 2 of them. And I think these were the large ones. Does that fit on there? Yep. And these guys are going to fit in there, so that this can go boop, 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 boop. Right? That's how it goes. It makes those sounds too. And then these go there, and then there, and then it gets glued onto here. And it goes just like that, except I don't know if that's exactly how it's supposed to sit. Sits like that. I think I'll just leave it like this and use this. And that way I can make sure it's sitted properly. Without having to fight with it. There we go. Now that's going to allow for movement of the barrel. Speaking of the barrel, we need to assemble the barrel. First we'll clean it up. I think I heard my phone go off again. Okay. See, Hatchaby and Code Miko are both live today. If you don't know who they are, both Hatchaby and Code Miko are a couple of Korean streamers. They stream live all the time. Code Miko is a virtual streamer. Sometimes she streams herself as technician. And Hatchaby she's kind of a comedic content machine. That's what Hatchaby is. She does IRL streams, she does cooking streams, she streams with other streamers, and she is funny and just really fun to watch, very entertaining. Okay, so bent a little bit, but that's okay. I would love to be interviewed by Code Miko. I'd love to be rated by her. Okay, so I have a feeling this is going to need some tape. To keep it together. Keep it together, man! I'm going to need more glue, spots, just because the nature of how this thing is fitting together. This is the top, which is going to, actually, this is probably the top. Yeah, so this is the top, or this is the side that's going to get seen all the time. So I want to hide the seam as best as I can on this side, right? Like I said, because it's the side that's going to be seen all the time. The underside, especially, it's not like the turrets. These things don't tilt or elevate. They don't elevate very much. Like even you see this, there's not a lot of as far as that goes. I suppose technically, if I really wanted, that don't fit. Here. That's maximum. Now, of course, the thing would never actually shoot anything at that angle, right? What am I doing? I don't know. I'm being weird. Stop being weird. So that goes in. Well, they even have a little notch in there. So it only goes in that far. It goes in just like that. Okay, anyway, I want to run, I've got to put this on the end. Like that. Okay. Okay, so there's the end of the barrel. Kind of disappointed, there's no riflings in there. Oh, you know what? If I remember correctly, in reading about this tank, the turret is not rifled. So that makes sense. But it is a little disappointing that it's not hollow. You know, or at least hollow further down. It's not too hard to look in the tip of that and see where it ends. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so put these two together. Goes like that. And I think we'll just do that, and I'll use this stuff. And then while I have this open, I will run a bead along the barrel. Just throwing out a guess here. I'm using way more glue than I need to get this thing to stay. But the fact that this is hidden and it's going to be forever like that, it's good enough, I think. So I want to run a bead across here just to make sure that I've got good solid bond of these two, because I am going to sand it a little bit along the top here to get it smooth and try to hide the crease line. A little bit, just to hide it a little bit. I mean, just looking at it, it's pretty hard to tell. I can see it here mostly. Along here is not too bad, but if I actually look at it, oh yeah, it's there. So I'm just going to use, you know, my 220 here and just kind of run it along there a little bit, just to smoothen that line, because I can feel it, right? And feeling it doesn't make me happy. Now what's interesting is, you know, I'm never going to move this turret up and down that much. And they have two options for the cover here. This one and this one. So this is the main one. This is the one that I've seen in the pictures, like that, and that's the main one that they show. But then they have this one. So this one is like made out of leather. Not this, but in real life, it's like a big leather covering, right? And obviously flexible and allows for the turret to move up and down. But this one is like a solid piece. This looks like it's just a big piece of steel and actually has 4 bolts on it. And of course, in the instructions here, it warns you that H26 may be attached in place of H5. So this is H26. But attaching H6 in step 23 disables a gun's vertical movement. So this would go on here, and I guess it still doesn't slide. I guess this goes over top of here. Yeah, okay, so that goes in here. It goes just like that. And then this goes in here. How do I have vertical movement? I don't have any vertical movement at all. Not at all. It doesn't move. So what the heck are you talking about, Tamiya? There is no vertical movement whatsoever. This goes in solid, and that's it. So I'm sorry, your instructions are wrong. Putting anything on there stops the gun's movement. And if I wanted this to slide up and down, I suppose I could trim these inner webbing off to allow for it to slide on there, because that's what's stopping it, is the notch into the top here. Doink, and it doesn't move. Let me think about that for a minute. There are two pieces that have to go on each side of it. Maybe they slide. They allow it to slide once they're put on first. Let's see. That feels better. I don't feel the line anymore. Just a little bit on this one. But I think that's going to be good enough. Okay, so we've got these two little reeling looking things on J27, 26. This is H. And J. J. 26 and 27. There they are, 26 and 27. This is 27 right here. 27 and 26. I don't know if these are actually going to allow it to move. They do want them put on the edge here, which means I need to clean them up a little bit. Alright, so it just goes on the very edge. doesn't match the contour exactly. So it's just go on the side. It kind of points to it being on the end, on the tip, but at the same time, it looks like it's on the side. I think it's supposed to go on the side, because it doesn't quite fit properly on the tip. So I'm going to put it on the side. Okay. I think that was the smarter way to go. One thing this glue is not is forgiving. If you move it after it's set, it's like, nope, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not holding anything anymore. You moved me. That was your decision. Okay, so we're back to the problem of this not moving at all. And what's stopping that from moving is the fact these things hit. So I'm going to take my knife and go, and I'm going to carve them down. And basically eliminate them. And that way, this turret might actually move up. I think that will allow it to move now. So these two little grooves go all the way to the top here, but now I've shaved them down so that's smooth. There's nothing there now. Now if it will move, but it's going to move like this. I kind of, well, we'll put the barrel in and we'll see. First it goes in this. Then it goes in like that. Now, can the barrel move? No. It does that. It's terrible. Flawed design, Tamiya. So I think once I got the barrel glued in, it won't. The barrel has to slide out in order to move. Yeah. So this is literally fixed into that position there, and there's nothing I can do. I would literally have to like carve this piece out. And I can't really do that. I could maybe shave it down and make it really thin. I don't know if doing that will do anything at all. Yeah, because really all this is doing is sliding up like this, and it's not rotating, right? It needs to rotate. And it kind of just won't allow it to. So I'm kind of screwed. It's just gonna have to sit there like this, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. There's another ring I need to glue on there, H12. H12. Grabbed the D. Okay, so this goes on here. Oh, it fits in a nice little slot perfectly too. Okay. Okay. So that goes on there. I just put it on the wrong frickin' piece. Damn it. Go away. Let's try this again. Okay, so we have that on there now on the right piece. Okay, now check something out here quick. Yeah, okay. Hanavk. Welcome to the stream, Hanavk. I don't know if that's how you pronounce your name. Probably murdering it. That goes in there like that. I suppose I can glue it just like that now. Or should I leave it loose and just glue the gun barrel in the hopes that it actually will. Yeah, it won't. It just won't. Yeah, you see me doing that, but the barrel is actually sliding out of the hole that it needs to be glued in. Once it's glued in, this is not moving at all. So I might as well just glue it all. Might as well just glue it all together. There we go. Stuck. No, I didn't glue this to that yet. We'll see how it does. Once that glue sets in a minute or two. Oh, thanks. 3 Percy's. Wanna become famous. Buy followers? Buy followers? Primes and viewers on bigfollows.com. How about no? How about no? Give this a few minutes. Let's take a look at our tracks. See if that stuff is dried. Well, it looks dry. Wow. I thought it was supposed to stick. that's a clean spot. It's now a dirty spot. And I just totally... I thought that stuff was supposed to stick to any surface. I can literally, like, wipe a clean spot off on the tractor. Is it supposed to be like that? Is it a spot that I've missed? Is it not completely dry? Am I currently doing something I'm not supposed to do? I mean, the track still looks pretty well used and worn. Definitely a lot better than it did. But I kind of, based on that, what I just wiped off on from the tracks, I kind of want to do minimal touching. And that's what it looks like now. It looks black. It's really hard to tell. The camera does not do it justice. This one's better, doing a much better job at showing it. But I need to do the other side. I need to do the other side now. Now I got brown powder all over my fingers. Okay, so let's put the turret aside. The knife aside. And we'll go back to the pigments. How's my brush? Did my brush dry out? Yes. So, their thinner doesn't do a good job at cleaning it off the brush. So I will have to come up with something different. I'll try the Tamiya thinner. Or, I have this. I've got their white spirit for enamel products. So that might work. But this stuff is also for enamel, is it not? High quality thinner for washes, filters, grime effects, and all types of enamel products. So this should work too, but maybe this is just, I don't know. Anyway, let's get some powder on here. Let's put some rust on here. Almost tempted to wear gloves doing this because of the fine powder it is, and the fact that, well, you have to touch it and the fact that, you know, it doesn't clean up all that great. I don't know if I'm using the best brush for this or not, but it says to use a round brush. This is kind of a round brush. It's not got a sharp edge on it, but okay. I think I've got more than enough on here now of the reddish color. Okay, that's that. Next, move on to our yellow. ochre rust. For as much as I tried to do a light spot, it did not work at all. I want to try and get a little more of that yellow on this side, because this is the side of the track that's actually going in contact with the dirt all the time. So I want more yellowish. So you can tell on the camera, this yellow that I'm putting on, it really is a distinctive, different color, right? And that's good, that's what I'm going for. But once I put that binder on here, it changes it totally. You'll see, if you've just joined me, you'll see that it totally changes the way it looks. Okay, so there's that. That one's done. Now we go on to the next track. I am liking the way this stuff blends. I will say that it's a totally unique and different way of painting, that's for sure, than from what I'm used to. Totally different, and the way it blends in together is kind of neat. And especially like with using water-based colors for painting, it's hard to get a blend. You know, like you have oil-based paints and you're painting with a brush. You can put a coat on of, say, I don't know, pick red. And as soon as you finish putting that coat on, you go grab some blue and start painting over that red. And that blue is going to mix with that red and it'll turn purple. And it's very easy to do. But when you get to watercolors, they don't really blend like that. They don't really work. That technique doesn't really work. You need to like mix your red and your blue together beforehand, and then turn it purple. You know, mix them together, get your purple tone color that you want, and then paint it. And it's really the only way to do it. Okay, Pigment Fixer is next. I want to get all my powder off of the brush first, because this is just going to soak in and blend my colors together. Hopefully. It says this stuff is going to make it stick. I'm not convinced it does. I'd almost be more inclined to just spray it with a flat clear. And I don't know if that's even an option with these pigments. Do you need to use the binder, or could you just spray it with a flat clear? Would that be an option? So as you can see, I'm just letting this stuff run right over top of it, letting it saturate it, which I think is what I'm supposed to do. Completely cover it with this stuff. These pigments, I know you can like build them up and you can make them like look like actual like dirt and stuff like that, where dirt is built up. It's not just the color of dirt, but actually look like dirt, and little rocks and pebbles and things like that. And then use this fixer to get it to stick together. I think you can do that. At least from what I've seen on YouTube videos anyway. And in that case, I wouldn't necessarily use my brush. I would use my little I've got like a little eyedropper tool. It's not really a tool, but it's like a little eyedropper. And that's where I would use that kind of thing. And just drop it over there and let it do its capillary action. Is that what they call it? Now, anybody out there who's done this stuff, used this stuff before, leave comments. Am I doing this right? Is there a different technique I could use that would be better? What if I used the eyedropper thing on these tracks instead of this brush? Would that be better? I'd like to know. What am I doing wrong? Or am I doing anything wrong? Maybe I'm doing this right and this is the perfect way to do the tracks. I don't know. Like I said, this is my very first time using this stuff, and I'm just trying to mimic the techniques that I saw on YouTube videos. So, and okay, I'll be honest, I didn't do a whole whack load of research. I watched like maybe 3 YouTube videos to get an idea of how this stuff is used, what it's used for. When I saw it used on the tracks, I was like, holy crap, that looks really fantastic. I gotta try that and improve the way I do the tracks. I mean, okay, I've only built one tank before this, so it's not like I got tons of experience building tanks and painting tank tracks. So, that being said, but the first tank I built is the M1A1. I have a video in my playlists on my YouTube channel. And you can see, I don't think I did anything with the tracks at all. I think I put them together and that was done. I think. I don't remember. Okay, now I got my dirty wet tracks. I want to just kind of move them out of the wet spot. Don't need to flip over. Just move out of the wet spot and they are done. And I'll let those dry. Fortunately, that dried a lot faster than before when I did the track wash. Okay, so I'll try to clean my brush a little better this time. Let's see. because that is enamel, and this is enamel thinner. So we'll see. Hopefully that cleans it a little bit better than the last time. Not really getting anything coming off my brush, so let's see. Okay, that's done. Alright, so I'm going to end it here because I'm going to wait till later. No, I'm kidding. This should be dry now. Does it move? It will not move. I can put it down just a hair. That's the movement I got on it. And that's it. That's sad. That makes me sad. Well, it is what it is, right? Okay, we got a couple little thingy-ma-doers to assemble. H, 31, 34, and 35. (31, 34, and 35). There's 35. 34. There you are. It's a little radio antenna communication thingamadour of some sort. Go. That's together. And then we've got 28, 32, and 33. Which pretty much looks like the same thing. Shading these little ones, these little antennae, are always a little bit tricky to do, to get them cleaned up without, without accidentally trimming off a part you don't want to. Okay. And that little antenna thingy-madooer is done. Okay. A couple of rings to put together. We want L, 3, 6, 8, and 12. Oh, that's you over here. L, 3, 6, 8, and 12. There's 3. And 12. There we go. Make sure they're clean. Do other people call it clean? Is that what other guys call it when you remove any excess from the tree? I always call it cleaning it up. So I'm cleaning up the excess, and so I go, yeah, I'm gonna clean it. I'm just curious. Is it just me that talks like that? Am I the weird one? Am I the odd man out? Am I the odd duck? Maybe. I don't know. Okay. Let's start putting these together. So we start with the big guy. And then this one goes on. And I'm going to assume there's a notch that it's supposed to go in. Oh, it kind of sits in there. Okay. There's the notch. Oops, maybe not. It just fell through. So, there is only one notch. So there we go. So let's get that glued first. Okay, good idea. Yeah, definitely a good idea. Find my slot again. Okay, that's glued in. Then we take this guy and this guy. What happens here? In between there, this guy goes down in like that. Now, do you actually act like a hinge? Yes, it does. This is going to be, this is meant to stay openable. line that up. This. Oh yeah, there's a pin and everything that lines it up. Good. Just like that. Now, I don't want to use too much glue. This stuff is very runny. I will put some on that pin. The capillary action of this stuff is very good. But that could mean also that it's going to run into areas I might not want it. So I want to keep that thing moving while this glue hardens. There we go. I think that's good enough. So we have a lid, a hatch now that opens. Alright, so this piece here is garbage. And my little doodad guys are done. That means this page is done, other than obviously painting. I'm supposed to paint these antenna things different colors, but I am not doing that today. I think it's getting just about close to dinner time. So, I think I'm going to call it a day. This track looks like it's almost dry. This one still has a ways to go. But you can see kind of how they're looking. There definitely ain't no regular black no more, and even on this especially on this camera, you can see the yellowing and the brown that's coming together real nice on there. Looks pretty good. Looks nice and dirty and messy, and yeah. So they're looking pretty good. So next stream, which will be part 5, I'll have those tracks put together finally. We can assemble the two halves of this finally. Have the tracks on there, and put this together and connect our little hook guy on there. We're getting there. Get that next time, part 5. Finish putting on all our thanks airplane for interrupting me. As I was saying, we got a bunch of kibble to put along around on this guy and make it nice and busy. And I think we're almost done. More kibble, the guns, and then done. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that for today. And if you're watching this on YouTube, which I know you are, click on the link down below. Go to my Twitch, please. Follow me on Twitch. That would be really awesome. Helps me out on Twitch a lot. And of course, if you follow me on Twitch, then you'll actually get notified when I go live. And then you could watch me, and you could go in and you chat, and you can do things like this guy did, and ask questions and stuff like that. And we can interact live. And you can be like, hey, you stupid idiot, why the fuck are you doing that? Or more polite and nice, whatever. But yeah, that's the whole point of going live, right? So people can interact with you and ask you stuff and whatever. So, yeah. So do that. And if you want to go on my Instagram and look at my other pictures and stuff like that, of other things that I've built, and be like, hey, why don't you build one of these? Or why did you do that build that way, and why didn't you do this, or whatever. You know, I'm doing this because, you know, somebody, why are you building models online? Why are you building models on a YouTube channel? And I'll tell you why. When I was younger, I liked building models, but I didn't think I could really do it anywhere, anything good. I had nobody that would actually teach me how to paint them properly, how to use the glue properly, little tricks and things. Everything you see me doing, I basically taught myself when I was younger. I'm here to show you guys how I do things so that you can see it's not that hard. And that's why I'm doing this. So you can see you can get a pretty decent result on your models without being a professional, using simple techniques that anybody can do. I don't think I do anything that is really super hard or takes a super amount of skill, other than trying to talk while a plane is taking off. Anyway, I want to give another shout out to Philippe. I think he's probably commented most on my YouTube videos and requested that I build an F-15 or a MiG-29. The F-15 is coming once this tank is done. So there you go, Philip. That one's going to be for you. Is it Philip or Philippe? I think he's French. I think you're French or some sort. Anyway, I'm probably wrong. Forget about that. I'm going to thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following me on YouTube. Thanks for the followers I have on Twitch. It's really awesome. I really appreciate it. So, I might continue this tomorrow. We'll see. Yeah, I think my schedule is open tomorrow, so I'll probably be back tomorrow. And until then, we'll see you around, and see you next time. Thanks.